If you're applying to grad schools abroad in the UK, you're applying to the US, to Canada, I bet this is one thing that has been missing from your resume, and it is a game changer. One thing you have been missing out on is adding extracurricular activities to your resume. And no, you cannot just add anything, okay? We're going to talk about the types of things you can add on your resume as good enough extracurricular activities. So I was speaking with someone recently, and they were working with a coach some time ago, and the coach advised them not to add church activities to their resume. So now I am not telling you should go on your resume and add everything you do in church, soul winning and everything, or what you do at the mosque if you're Muslim, or any other religious setting or organization. So that's not what I'm saying, but there are specific experiences you can get from the church, from working in the church, that you should definitely, absolutely add to your resume. So let us talk about that. When you think about adding extracurricular activities like your work in church, some volunteering things that you do on the side during the weekends or outside of work, these are three things that you should look out for. If that experience, if that activity, if your role on those activities meet these three criteria, then we're good. You should add it to your resume fast right now after today's video. So let's talk about those three things. First is, did you make an impact? If you did something tangible on those roles, or like when you joined those groups or when you volunteered, if you did something tangible you can point to, that's a yes. The second thing is, did you lead anything? Did you lead anything where we're not thinking about like people that were just like members, and were part of the activity, but they didn't quite lead a thing. They didn't lead a committee. They didn't lead anything. They didn't initiate things. If you did lead, if you led something, that's a yes. The third criterion is it relevant to your field? Listen, this is 2023. We are not adding irrelevant things to our resume. Nobody has time for that. No recruiter, no admissions committee, nobody has time to be reviewing things that are just resume fillers. If this experience, you can relate it to your field or your field of interest or the kind of things the school cares about, then it's a yes. So those are the three things that you need to have in mind when you're thinking about adding extracurriculars to your resume. So let us talk a bit more about this. Now that you know the things to look out for, let's use examples. If you volunteer with like an NGO or like a non-profit, as they call it here, what we used to call non-governmental organizations back home, or non-profit, if you volunteer with them and you lead specific things, maybe you led a specific campaign that they did and that campaign had specific results. Maybe you were able to support, through that campaign, you were able to support 300 women or 200 underserved communities, and there were specific results. Like as a result of that training that you did, a lot of them started businesses, or a lot of them, their revenue increased from their small businesses. You see, those are the kind of things. Number one, you led that specific campaign. Number two, if you are applying to like a program that cares about like growth, leadership and things like that, that's a good sign. Number three, what you did had very specific impact in the time that you did it, or in the time right after you did those things. So that's a good example. Now let us talk about the elephant in the room, which is, can I put things that I do in church? And I'm using church as a specific example because this is the one I've heard a lot from a couple of people I've been speaking with in the last couple of weeks. So can I add my church experiences, church activities to my resume? The answer is yes, but maybe no. So let's explain this a bit. So maybe you're a member of the ushering, or let's say evangelism department in your church. you almost cannot go on your resume and write something like 150 souls. That's not what I'm saying. That wouldn't work. Okay, that's not how you should write such a thing. Now, if you're part of the evangelism department and you did a specific kind of evangelism where you provided food or you provided training for people, almost like it's evangelism but through like welfare or through training and empowerment, like you did that for a specific community and that had results, yes, those people ended up coming to church, but that's not the impact you're really writing. The impact you're writing is maybe they started their own businesses, they did certain things, they maybe even things that are social, like maybe they reduced their alcohol usage, things like that you can mention as impact. You can write those on your resume. Now let's talk about even the soul winning, even like bringing people to the church. The way you will write it is not that you want souls. The way you will write it is something like you did these specific things, you organized this campaign, you led this initiative that grew the church or the membership of the church by 5%. That's kind of how you write it. So the school knows that this person knows how to organize things. This person knows how to work with communities. And if you're applying to programs where they care about those things, that's a plus for you. But you cannot write it as 150 souls for the Lord or something like that. That is great, but that's not how you will write it on your resume. So again, don't forget the 3 criteria that I mentioned. If that experience that you're considering is relevant to your field, it is you led something tangible, and 3, your leadership or the things you did had very clear results, then you should absolutely add it to your resume. All right, that's it, my friend. Let me know if you have questions about other things that I think you should include in your resume in the comments. Just ask me any questions. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you added to your resume that is extracurricular stuff. So let me know, and I'll see you in my next video. And if you enjoyed this short video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.